and welcome to my craft channel, or welcome back, I hope. As I mentioned in the last video, this time I'll be assembling the 2 remaining music boxes, and of course I wouldn't be myself if I didn't change something. I've been looking at these music boxes for a while and something just doesn't sit right with me. There are 2 things I want to change. So I like to move this part from this music box to that one, and the part with little hearts from that one to this one. But wait, what about those lights? Okay, I've got it. I will swap the entire bases. That means the base from the house music box will go to the carousel, and the carousel base will go under the house. It just fits better that way, definitely. The colorful lights and the hearts will go much better with the carousel. At least that's how I see it. And the other base will fit the townhouse more nicely. Since I've been building quite a few townhouses lately, I'll start with the carousel this time. There's one more issue with the carousel. The arrow shows it rotates this way, but the reindeer face the opposite direction. So when the music box plays and spins, the reindeer will be moving backwards, completely the wrong way. But I already have a plan to fix that. What do we have here? The roof, the reindeer, which will need to be flipped, parts of the carousel, the flag, and other pieces. As I decided earlier, I'll be using the entire base from the townhouse. On the 3rd panel, we have the remaining carousel parts. I start by cutting out the pieces needed to build the base. Next, it's time to paint the background. I decided to stick to the same colors I used for the tenement houses. If you haven't seen those videos yet, I'll leave a link in the card and in the description below. Since I already have a music box with a blue base, I'm left with 2 colors, green and red. And the latter definitely reminds me most of carousels. The paint is mixed with glitter, but it's not quite visible enough. So in the end, I will add a coat of varnish mixed with glitter that matches the paint color. The hearts are painted with pearly pink paint. It also has a bit of glitter in it. I painted the light cord green to make it stand out. The lights will come in 4 colors: yellow, green, blue and red. The red won't be very visible, so I went for a shade closer to orange. The paint is pearly metallic, this time without glitter. Of course, to make it visible against the red background, I need to apply several layers. At the end, as I mentioned before, I applied a coat of varnish with glitter. Here, something unexpected happened. Apparently, part of my footage disappeared, and it was quite an important part, so I'll just have to explain what I was doing instead of showing it. As you can see, I am painting the reindeer on their original side, but as I said at the beginning, to make the carousel look nice, they need to be flipped. The problem is that the other side doesn't have the engraved details. So I came up with a simple idea. I used tracing paper. It's semi-transparent, so I traced all the details, went over them with a pencil, flipped both the reindeer and the tracing paper, and then pressed hard with a sharp pencil to transfer the graphite from the other side onto the wooden piece. This gave me an outline I could then paint. I'm really upset and disappointed that I lost such an important part of the footage. I hope my explanation was clear enough. If not, feel free to ask in the comments. The pillars that hold the reindeer are painted with red and white stripes, and I added a layer of glitter on top. And finally, it's assembly time. First, I screw the music box mechanism onto the base. As you can see, the base is painted only around the edges. Next, I assemble the walls. Unfortunately, they don't hold together very well on their own, so I'm helping a bit with glue. Now I'm attaching the legs. I add the upper part of the base. Then I screw in the winding key. I protect the base with varnish. This black circle will be placed directly on top of the music box, kind of closing the base. It's painted black, then covered with transparent acrylic medium with glitter. And now I'm also adding a layer of varnish. This circle is the carousel base. Like the other parts, it's painted, covered with glitter and then sealed with varnish. This circle will be screwed onto the music box mechanism. That's what will make the carousel spin. Another coat for the base. And the same for the black circle. The black circle goes into place. Now it's time to attach the main circle that will make the carousel rotate. Next, I glue on the spacer to hide the screw heads. And now I make the classic Polish mistake. Who needs instructions, right? I shouldn't have glued the carousel base before assembling it. But of course, I thought I was smarter than the instructions. Well, we'll see about that. And of course, I used super glue because I'm too impatient to wait. And separating plywood good with it isn't exactly easy. So now I've made myself a problem. All the middle parts of the carousel are attached to base. I don't suspect yet that anything could go wrong. I don't like the gaps between these panels, so to hide them and liven up the interior, I decided to fill them with chenille stems. I also planned a small upgrade for this music box because a Christmas Carousel makes me think of colorful lights. The plan was to wrap the lights around the central pillar of the carousel. And here comes the first problem. No matter what I do, I can't fit the top part over all these pieces. If I hadn't glued the base, it would have been much easier. But now I don't have much room to work with. I struggled with it for quite a while, but eventually I gave up. I cut off the tabs on most of the central pillars, then attached the reindeer and hearts. I now secure the pillars with glue and attach the roof base. And another problem. There is no way the battery box will fit inside the roof. Great job, me, for not measuring that earlier. But I won't give up. I want lights, and there will be lights, no matter what. First, I assemble the roof. I will figure out what to do with the battery controller in a moment. Such a nice plan, and it got wonderfully complicated. Maybe I can hide the wire between the base circles. This is the only solution that makes sense. It ruins the aesthetics a bit, but I can't think of any other way. Okay, I'm installing the carousel on the base. I have to screw it in the opposite direction. Oh, and it actually works! But just look how pretty it looks with the lights on. From one side it looks fine, but from the other, that battery box really spoils the view. I'm thinking about where to place the gingerbread figures. Maybe like on the box, perhaps there's another way. The battery controller is really getting on my nerves. Maybe I could put the guy on a reindeer. Okay, that was a joke. Or maybe on the roof. No. I give up. I can get over it. I worked so carefully on this music box. Wanted it to be so nice, so neat and perfect, and my plans were ruined by my own carelessness. Finally, it's time for the stars. And here it is, finished. It plays Jingle Bells. Thank you so much to everyone who made it till the end. Stay tuned, there is still one more music box to come. Bye!